Here. Here. Yeah, righty. See here. Are your parents brother and sister, or you just genetically stupid? Don't you love it? I love it. Yeah, when they speak that homonym, you know. I bet you wouldn't ask that if I had my patootie up in the air 5 times a day, believing embryos are clots of congealed blood created by sperm not coming from the testicles, but from the between the ribs and backbone. True? Replying with, okay, so yeah, Sunan Abu Dawud. That's hilarious. It's like you know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't. And if I do... yeah. And repeating the same crap over and over again. Correct? And repeating the same crap over and over again. Quran 424 and how it's reported handed down in Dawood and Muslim is crap. You haven't refuted any point. What was I refuting? You mean it is okay to rape women in front of her non-Muslim husband if she's the slave of a Muslim or captured in war? See Quran 424 and how it's handed down in Sunan Abu Dawud 2150 for starters. If you, the reader or the viewer, have just come upon this video form. Just childish rants. We will leave that up to our readers and viewers to decide if that's true, okay? Answering your question, when? Exposed for being the cult of murder, pedophilia, slavery, rape, and incest. When did you refute Islam being all that? And where? That's what your Bible have. Do you know that Islam seems to be the only religion that believes if you say so, it means so? Do you think that's really true? If you say so, it means so? You know. 424 does not say, quote, in front of their husbands. Liar! No, you have to go to Dawood 2150 to find out that it does. So you are the liar for twisting it and saying it doesn't. It says, those right hand possessed, exactly, which can be with someone's wife, due to the fact it says, backed up by Dawood, quote, forbidden to you are married women, except That's the key word here to make this great satanic Islamic evil okay in having sex with someone's wife if she's your slave, is backed up by Sunan Abu Dawud 220 and 50. Quote, what your right hand possessed, slave. If that doesn't remove African American complaint for the time U.S. had slavery, tell me what does. After war, if they were married. What? Aren't you now to perform taqqiya and lie, saying, quote, if they are widows, or, quote, if they have left their unbelieving husbands? That is very brave of you to say if they were married. Oh, were, as in past tense. So you are about to say taqqiya and say widows, true? After the war, if they were married, so obviously after the war their husbands are no longer around, so they're not really married. False. For where in Dawud 2:2150 does it say you, Muslims, are having sex in front of dead husbands who were disbelievers? False. For where does Quran says for why does Quran say forbidden to you, Quran 4:24, say forbidden to you are married women except widows who are your slave? Do you see the word widows anywhere in that part of Quran 4:24 and how it's reported, handed down in Dawud and Sahih sound authentic Muslim Hadith 34:33? That's what the verse says. False. For anyone can read Quran 4:24 and Dawud 2:2150 for themselves and see who is the one who is taqqiya-ing, lying for Al, thanks to Mo saying words deceit and writing Quran 3:28 and 16:16, even though Mo was supposedly a middle-aged moron who couldn't read and write. Just talk about flying donkeys with human heads, peacock tails, and the earth being spread out on flat on a giant fish called Nun. Nice try, thank you. I never said Hadith is false. Oh? So you do believe it's okay to have sex with someone's wife in front of them if you have captured them in war? Really? You have no problem with that, evil? Well, what kind of Qurani are you? Nothing wrong with saying God only knows. If Allah knew, wouldn't Allah have made the Quran far more in line with science and would have had a name for balls from where its sperm comes from? If Allah really knew, wouldn't Allah have said things like the earth has to constantly ask permission to keep on rotating instead the sun seeks permission to rise again? If Al knew, wouldn't Al have said a solar eclipse occurs when the sun does catch up with the moon, and not say, quote, the sun falls out of its chariot into the sea of water held up over our heads by his power? Be truthful, O slave of the best of deceivers. It's narrated from people who were authentic. You mean 9th century people? But human error is always to be taken into account. You mean 7th century and 9th century errors, since we now know how a solar eclipse occurs and that it isn't due to the hour being established like Mo thought and feared? And when you say, then why even bother to follow or believe in the Quran if you can't be trusted? No, I meant to say Hadith. I screwed up there. What the Quran has to do with Hadith, moron? Oh, if you are a Sunni, it seems to have a lot to do with it. I mean, I meant to say Hadith. I meant to say Hadith, but it came out Quran. I guess subconsciously I don't see much difference between the two when it comes to stupid and evil threat to one's well-being. I was talking about Hadith, not Quran, the words of God. Right. Again, I meant to say Hadith, but for some reason it came out Quran. Sorry about that. Again, it must have been my subconscious not seeing much difference between the two. The story in verse 18 was between two prophets, El-Qadr and Moses, about knowing the unseen. How do you get that with killing an innocent youth, Moses' words, just by fearing that the boy will grow up to disappoint parents and show ungratefulness toward Allah, as if those are two good reasons to kill anyone, let alone an innocent youth, as described in clear signs handed down Quran 1874-81. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh? And if I do? What then? What would that mean to you if I do know? You put these verses while we were talking about women. So, isn't Quran 4:24 from the very chapter, surah of the Quran called the women? He Us, it's for respect, a plural of God. How is he, quote, he, where does al call itself he? By the way, how is it respectful of al for itself, since the Quran is supposedly written by old al? Well, how is al showing respect to itself using the royal plural when shirk, partnering with al, old al, is the worst thing in the entire universe to al? Shouldn't old al be the last being in the entire universe to think talking like the demon-possessed man called Legion in the Injil is showing itself respect? Be respectful. No taqqiya here, okay? Just like Hebrew Elohim that's used in the Bible too. What was that? About Elohim, because it's a plural of God, you see. Right. Which seems to fit there. Which fits, since there is the belief in the Trinity, if you ask, culminating with Jesus being baptized by John and later saying, my God, when he took on the sins of the cross on the cross. You are pagans worshiping 3 in 1. You are a Muslim worshiping something that talks like a demon-possessed man filled with many demons described in the Injil. Jews and Muslims are true monotheists worshiping the one true God. Even though you admitted that the word Elohim for the plural, will you be taking that back about Jews at least? Jesus never taught you that. It's all invention of Paul, the biggest Satan. False. For Paul didn't write John 1:1 and Isaiah. He didn't write Zechariah about and they shall look upon me whom they pierced. Because when did God become pierced by the Jews? Excellent. I should write that too.
That is excellent.
Okay. False. Paul and his buddies caused a lot of Christians to burn in hell. False. For if Islam is true, who was it that made it only appear that Jesus went to the cross while secretly taking Jesus up to be with him in heaven? Who?
Let me try it.
He turned them from monotheists to polytheists. False. For even though Elohim, like you admitted for the concept of the royal plural, is plural for gods, the Trinity has it one God. The Trinity has it as one God with 3 personages. I explained that Hadith many times. It's about gossip, not about future. Where does it say it's only for that time and deficient intelligence means gossip? When? And where does it say that in the Hadith that he supposedly doesn't believe in? Just warning. And to be nice with husbands, nothing wrong with that. Nice try. Would you have a problem if it was reversed and a female Allah had its female prophet saying, when I looked into hell, I saw that most of those in hell were men because they curse more and show ungratefulness toward wives, and because men have wet dreams and are deficient in intelligence. Would you have a problem with that? Or would you say, hey, who gave me a deficient in intelligence and wet dreams? Would you dare ask that if you knew that it would be hell for you if you didn't like seeing your wife having sex with a bunch of Star Trek fans, virgins in paradise? Because when they go to hell, they don't want to see their husband having sex with a bunch of virgins in paradise.
Love it.
The verse from Peter, subjugate to husband, is same meaning. Anything like Quran 4:24 and how it's reported handed down in Dawood's 2:20-50 and Muslim 8:34-33. No,
this is just fabulous.
Isn't it great? Yeah. I like it when they come back. It's so great. No such thing as taqqiya for the entire Sunni population. Oh, he's a Sunni now. Oh, he's defending the Sunnis. You have to believe in the Sunnah. I thought he was a Qurani. I can't make up his mind here. No such thing as taqqiya for the entire Sunni population. Go check on it. Well, false. For there's Quran 3:28 and 61:6 in Muslim war is deceit. That opens the door to taqqiya, and thus it is pointless to go and check it online for you, risking having a Muslim lie about what taqqiya is. It's few Shias who believe in it. False! For there's Quran, I say the same thing again. Yeah.
I keep picturing Will Smith beating up on that.
That creepy Muslim, I know. These verses about scriptures were all talking about the original. Where
inside the thing and they roll the rockets on that.
Yeah. These verses about scriptures we're talking about the originals. Where do you get that in the quote clear signs handed down? I explain things fully in detail in the Quran. The ones when revealed on the prophets are not the ones you have. False! For if that is true, what is the point of Muslims heeding Quran 4, 136, 150, 151, 152, 285, and 40, 70 through 72, telling you to believe in all the books of Allah and make no distinction between Allah's books?
Ooh. Yeah.
Why is there Quran 1094 telling you, a Muslim, to come to me for my reading the before scriptures if they are no longer original and thus to you corrupted? Why are Jews and Christians obey Quran 5:68 about standing firm upon the Torah and Injil if the Torah and Injil are corrupted? Why obey 5:47 to use the Injil to judge therein of the Quran? Does any of that sound like clear signs handed down to you if the Bible is corrupted? Be truthful. No taqqiya, okay? The ones you have all murder, pedophilia, slavery, tape. I think he means rape. Tape and injustice and massacres. Just because the book might talk of such things, how is it telling Christians to engage in such things like Quran 4:24 is basically saying you can do? The Quran is clear about the Jews and Christians. Did what? They corrupted the words of God. Old Al couldn't say be and stop them? Are you saying Jews and Christians are stronger than Old Al? By the way, I thought the quote clear sign said Al's words couldn't be changed and altered, and that it was a supreme triumph. If not, and they can be corrupted, well, then what is the point of a Muslim heeding Quran 4, 136, 150, 151, 152, 285, and 40, 70 through 72?
This is what God wants him doing.
Telling you,
earning $10 an hour, corrupting Midwest,
And risking his
risking his life, radioactive.
telling you to believe in all the books of Allah and, quote, make no distinction between all his books. Why is there Quran 1094 telling you, a Muslim, to come to me for my reading the before scriptures if they are no longer the original and thus to you corrupted? Why are Jews and Christians to obey Quran 5:68 and stand firm upon the Torah and Injil if the Torah and Injil are corrupted? Why obey Quran 5:47 and use the Injil to judge therein of the Quran? Does any of that sound like quote clear signs handed down if to you if the Bible is corrupted? Be truthful. No taqqiya here, okay? Again, what is the point? Oh, this is fun. Oh, it's so fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.